Hi everyone, and welcome in this video where we will discover the platform Particeep, which is composed of one back office and one front office dedicated to the investors. Okay, so let's begin with the back office. That's the screen you are seeing right now. So in the back office, you will have first some pages dedicated to the configuration of your platform. Basically, this is the category, content, and design and settings page. So we will have a quick overview of those pages, and then we will have a view on the second part of the back office, which is more the daily use of the platform, where you can manage the users, the investors, the deals, the partners, and transactions. And we will have a view on everything. A quick view if you want closer looks at some features. You can have you can see some video dedicated to some pages here. So let's start with the dashboard. So we are here in the dashboard, and this is quick information. This is basic statistics on the platform, so the numbers of transactions, number of deals and users on the platform, and you can click on go to my platform and you will be linked to the platform. So first, maybe the first interesting page is this one, settings page. So when you set up the platform, it's you can access this platform through this URL. So this is URL at .particeep.com. Obviously, when your platform is live, you can have your own domain name, but that's done just after the configuration. So we have then some configuration about the name of the platform, the from email, the languages available on the platform, so you can add other languages if you want. And the mail here is the email, the from email of all the notifications, the automatic notifications sent by the platform when a user sign in or a user make a transaction, for example. Well, you can plug as well the analytics code like Google Analytics or jar. Then you have some parameters. So this is dedicated to configuration of the platform. Is the platform private? Can you see the platform on Google? Are the partners available? Well, there is a lot of switch buttons here, so there is different configuration available on according to what you do on off on this switch button. There is a particular user experience in the platform. For example, when a user sign in, it will go through a funnel, and on this funnel, for example, when individual investors sign in, you can say, okay, I want this guy fill in a questionnaire, and this questionnaire is this one, KYC investor. And where do you define KYC investor? You define it here in forms, and we will see that in one moment. Manage your platform. So here, so this is the admin. So all those guys, they have an access to the platform as an admin, so they can access what you see here, the back office. After that, you can work on the design with the logo, the favicon, the colors. You can change the CSS if you want. You can as well add content. So in this page here, content, you can create pages a little bit like in WordPress, for example. So you just create pages, and then you can edit this page directly in HTML, or there is an easy mode as well. So if you aren't an expert of HTML, you can edit this page as well. Yeah, you have to define the categories. So this is the categories that are attached, that are linked to the deals, to your deals. So well, if you are working if you are funding real estate deals, for example, you will define all the kind of categories you will have. So this is like tags. So you can, on one deal, you can link one deal to several tags. So well, here you can do whatever you want. There is color linked to the tags. Well, that's the so that's the configuration, and at the end, when you are done with all the configuration, you have a very cool platform, which is a white label platform. So this is an example. This is a front. This is an example of the platform. So obviously it's Particeep branded, but actually when you add your own branding, everything is different here, and it's very similar to your own branding and your own design. And in the header or on the footer, you can do whatever you want. So you can configure it like you need, like you want. Okay. So by the way, I won't speak too much in this video of the front office, because this is not the purpose of this video, and you will have a full view of the front office dedicated to the investors in other video. But here I really want to focus on the back office. So let's continue on the back office. Here you have the full list of the users on the platform. So you can create users, you can export this table in CSV. If you want on this table to have different information, other information, you can choose what you want to display here. Well, and on each user you can do several actions. You can see the document related to this user, you can delete this user, you can see the information of the user, you can manage the partners that are linked to this user. I will talk about partner in one moment. Or you can reject it. You can accept or reject. It's important because according to the configuration you have done on the platform, you may have to validate the user before they can access to the deals. So, well, I will click on, I don't know, for example, well, I will go on one guy. I know he has some information. This is maybe this one. Yeah. Okay, so this guy, he has some information on this profile. Okay. So here you can see that this guy has a wallet that has been created. He has 90 euros on it. Has been created at this time. Has done a lot of transactions, 55 transactions. This is the average amount of each transaction. If you click here, you will see all the transactions linked to this user. This guy is validated. I already had some comments on this guy. You have to know that those comments are totally private, meaning that the investor is not available to see he cannot see these comments. You can see all the documents related to this user, but the signed document, I mean like the contracts or stuff like that you want him to sign. Well, there is information about him. You can, if you want, change some information. I will come back here. And something important, here you can see that he answered, well, actually he didn't answer this questionnaire. So this is in French, but actually you had the questionnaire you want, and then if the guy answered these questions, you will see all the answer here. So here there is only the question, and actually you can have documents as well here. If you ask him to upload documents, you will find those documents here. Okay, so that's the one user profile. Then you have the deals, the project, the deals. And here you can see that we have a lot of deals, and actually to create a deal we will do that. Let's say we create a loan deal. Okay, so when you create a deal you have to do two things. The first thing is description, in order for the user to see all the basic information of the deal, the presentation, the logo. So you can upload here a logo. You can add the name of the deal. You can attach categories. And then there is description. There is confidential description and non-confidential description, meaning that if the user is not logged in the platform and is not validated, he can see some details about the deal as well, because maybe he's curious and he wants to know more. Then he will sign in and fill user information about his KYC, for example, and then you will give him the access, and then he will be able to see the confidential information. Well, once you have done that, so here, whatever. Well, that's the first part. The second part is the financial information. So the financial information, there depends on what kind of asset you want to create. So here, this is a loan. So actually, let's say we are looking for this amount. The online fundraise will end, let's say, this time. So there is an error. This is normal because we didn't fill yet all the parameters. So don't worry. So let's say this is a 12-month loan, rate is 8%, tax rate, let's say this is 0, the minimum amount is 100 euro, and we start to repay the loan, let's say the 25th of April. Rating, this is just for the display. There is no other parameters that are linked to the rating. And you say, okay, constant method, we build the scheduler with the constant method, and we say there is one repayment each month, for example, and there isn't deferred period. Okay, so we just created our deal. If I want to see the scheduler, so I click on my deal here, and I click on edit the fundraise. And here you can see that the scheduler has been created. And here you can see there is capital, there is interest, and there is the total amount and the remaining capital. Well, so this is the point of view of the project or the SME or the startup or the deal. If you want the point of view of the investor, so the amount will be different because it depends on the amount he invested in the project. And he will have another column which is the tax, and the tax is, so here it's 0, but if you say, for example, it's 20 or 30%, you will have the column with minus 30% of this amount, and the guy will just have the net amount, which is that the capital plus the interest minus the taxes, which will be the amount. So we can manage taxes, and you can change if the guy paid the tax or not for each user. So it's very important. Very important in France because there is a lot of taxes, but it's quite similar in other countries. Well, okay, and then once your fundraise is fully created, you can, well, I forget something, you can see the documents. So here I can attach document that will be linked to the page of the deal, so everyone will be able to see those documents, I mean the people that are validated and logged. You can as well, if you want the project owner to sign a document, you can send him a document and he will sign it. You can send documents to sign to the investors, so each time someone invests in a deal, he will have to sign the document you just upload here. And it's very important because those documents you can insert variables in these documents, and you can say, for example, I want in the document to display the name of the guy, the first name, the last name, maybe the amount invested in this deal. So this is very practical because you can generate on the fly a lot of documents, and you just have an initial work to do to upload this document, and then each time an investor invests in a deal, he will have the document that is generated, and he can sign the document, and everything is done. Okay, so let's have a look on something else on the project, what we can see. Yeah, so something very cool is the make private. So make private is great if you want to create club deals. It means that if you want a deal to be only visible by some investors, then you make it private, and then so we'll do it. And what happens when you do that? you have to say, okay, I want those guys to access the deal and no one else. So I can add user, and for example, if you want to say, okay, I want David to add to be able to access the fundraise, so I click on it, and he will be the only one that can view the deal and that can invest in the deal. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you don't want to add one by one, you can add a list of users. Okay. And if you want to say, okay, now I don't want the deal to be private and I want to open it to everyone on the platform, you click on make it public, and that's it. Everyone can see it. Oh, this is not the good page. Let's come back on projects. So here, so once you say, okay, it's a club deal, you can manage it. You can see the scheduler, we just saw it. Okay, add to favorites. It's if you want to display it on the home page of the platform. Okay, you can as well say, this deal, I assign it to a partners, or you can manage the partners on this deal. Your partners, they are the wealth manager, for example, and if you have several products, but you don't want to give an access to all your wealth managers that are working with you, you can just define who can advise and deal with this deal. It means that, well, let's try it. Here you will say, okay, I don't know if David is a wealth manager. Yeah, he is. Okay, so David is a partner, a wealth manager, and I say, okay, this wealth manager can access this deal. And what will happen with that? So if David has some clients that are investors, and if David wants to make transaction between this deal and his investors, he will be able to do that. But if you don't allow him to do that, he won't be able to link his clients, his investor, with the deal. So that's very important. And why it's important? Because after that, David, which is a wealth manager, he will have an access to the back office of the platform, which is a limited version of the back office. He will be able to see only his clients and his deal you wanted him to see. And then that's very cool because he can see what the user are doing, in which deal they are investing, and he can as well create new investors, and he can create new transactions, but those transactions will be at the end validated by the investor. So let's focus now on partners. So partners, they are people on the platform, and those people, you can give them special rights, and those special rights are accessing to a part of this back office. So if you say, I want to add a partner, so for example, I don't know, if Steve is a user of the platform and you want him to be a partner, and then he will have an access to this back office, but a part of this back office, as we said. And here you can see all the partners we already appointed. So for example, this guy, Noe, if I click on him, well, not so much information. Let's have a look on another one, maybe Steve. Okay, not so much information. Let's continue. Actually, when you click on a partner, you can see the deals that are linked to this partner, and you can see the investor that are linked to this partner. So let's click on Macron. I hope he has some. Yeah, good. Well, don't care about the photo. So there is plenty of users here. And is there some deals? Yes. Well, that's great. Why that's great? Because Emmanuel Macron will be able to see all the transaction between all those users and all those deals. And actually, you can manage default fees. So you can say, okay, for each transaction, my partner, my wealth manager, will have 50 euros and maybe 1% of the deal. Okay, I can confirm that. And so this is the standard fees for him. Okay, here. But if you want to change it for some deals, you can do it here. So you can define, for example, maybe for this deal, I want him to have 0 plus, let's say 2%. Okay, and so now it will have the standard fees for the other deals, but for this one, it will have 0 plus 2%. Okay, and you can see at the end if there is transaction. Okay, so there is 0 transaction here. Good. So that was our 2%, and there is no transaction. Good. Well, and Emmanuel Macron, he will have a view on all the investor information, all the deal information, and we will have a view of the transactions that are made between the two. Good. Well, this part is not so much important. This is just document that you can input in the platform. This is like a where you can store documents, whatever. You can share those documents as well with the users. Well, that's interesting because in fact, when you share a document, you can share a document with one user or two or several, and they will see that in their dashboard, in their account. There is the news. So the news, you can publish some news on the investor dashboard, and they will receive an email as well. If you don't want to use a newsletter tools like Mailchimp or Sendinblue or Sendgrid, you can use that. Well, something interesting, the transaction. So here you can see all the transaction happening on the platform, and you can see that there is some here with the amount, the fees, the time, who invested in which deal, the status of the transaction, and you can, if you want, add a comment, manage partner on this transaction, see the documents that are related. What kind of document can be related to transaction? Well, it's maybe the contracts or some stuff like that that can be signed electronically as well, so you can see all the documents related here. Okay, so here, that's something important if you want to add a lot of information. For example, when you create the platform and you want to import hundreds of users, you can do it through here. And actually, you can import user, you can import deals, you can import fundraise, you can import transactions, you can even import answers to questionnaires. Very practical if you need to import a lot of answers of a lot of users for KYC, for example, and if you want to make a migration, for example, or something like that. Another page. This page is well, there is a lot of forms here that we already created, but actually when you create your platform, you will have 4 or 5 forms. So you can use these forms when the user sign in, for example, and let's have a look to this one. This is just the question you want to ask to the users, and you say, okay, company information, legal name, required documents. Okay, and each time you define the question, you say, okay, it's a document, or maybe it's a multiple choice question, drop down, short answer, checkbox, date, document, and you can say, okay, it's required or not. And you can even link the display of this question to the answer of another question. You can do it here. Okay, so you can add conditional question as well on your documents, on your questionnaire, sorry. Okay, and then you can link this questionnaire to the individual investor sign-in or the institutional investor sign-in, but you can create a questionnaire as well when the guy invests in a deal. Maybe you want him to add several information here, and you can ask him questions. Okay, and something else I want you to see is the signatures. So here you will have a full view of all documents that are signed on the platform by the users, and you will see when, which documents, which user, the phone number, and the status of the electronic signature, and obviously you can see the document that has been signed. Okay, and you can export everything, and you can even create a signature, and that's pretty cool because we just saw everything we need to saw. And thank you for your attention, and if you need to have a better view of some features, you have to know that you can see other videos with specific pages where we go through more details and we explain more how it's working and how to do some stuff that can be quite complex, like the import of information, data import on the platform, or maybe some other technical task like creating contract with variables inside. So there is dedicated articles or video for that. So the articles that are visible, they are visible on help.particeep.com, and very often you have as well video with this inside these articles. Thank you very much. Bye.